I'm gonna get cracking on the deck now. I got my post bases, I got some nuts, bolts, got a wrench, guaranteed to fit. This looks like it's gonna be bad news. Not a good idea. Let's just break this. Jesus. There we go. All right, we got post bases in here. Screw this down to the concrete. Hey, I got the right size nuts. Who would have thought? Snug it up. And then we will go do the others. Figures. All right, all my posts are on this side. I gotta work on the post in the middle. I'm doing something kind of strange here. So this is inside of this, which means there's a 1.5 inch gap here. So I have to fill it. I forgot to buy a piece here. Totally forgot that I had to do this. To flush this out, and then I'll screw the ledger to this piece. Now the problem is, I don't have any legs left. I used all my spacks earlier. So what I'm going to end up doing, unfortunately what I'm going to end up doing is, I'm just going to put little cleats here for now, just to hold it, and then I'll screw the piece in, the cross piece here, and the little cleats will hold it. Now, ultimately I'm going to take those cleats out and lag the ledger into this post, but I can't do that right now because again I'm out. This is going to represent my ledger. It's a 2x10 like this. my cleat that will hold it for now. Because I don't want to build the whole deck on just a couple screws. So I thought more about this, and what I did instead of just putting cleats there is actually just, I sacrificed a couple 2x8s and I just beefed it up to make a ledger because it should be supported anyways. I mean, it shouldn't rely just on the fastener. So it means that those posts are like way bigger than they need to be, but whatever. I'm gonna put the ledger up right now. So over here, we are when I put these last joists in, I mean all the joists inside the cabinet, they're sistered like this. Okay, so they're not quite on center. And then at the very end, it was okay, because this part just sticks out. Well, now that I'm trying to tuck this in next to it, there's a bit of a gap here, and you know, I'll be able to correct this with stringers. You know, the stringers will be different lengths, but it'll be fine. But yeah, it's just, this is starting to show its ugly head here. It got really, really cold out here. Just out of nowhere. Snowing earlier. I've mocked up with the bracket to get the correct height there, because this is a little difficult to figure because you got the post, you got the post cap, which does take up, I mean, it's minute, but takes a little space, and then you got 10 by here, which is what our ledger will be. I did that on this side, and I've done that on the other side as well. I almost made a bad mistake because I was gonna go off the bottom of the ledger, and then I realized, you know, to find, I was gonna go off the bottom to find over here where I needed to be, but that doesn't work out because it's an 8 by hanging off of the 10 by. So the only way to do it is to actually put the hangers in, which I figured out, thankfully, before I made some bad cuts. But anyways, I've got this figured out here. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run a line across, and I'll put my third post in the middle, and then I'll just figure out exactly where it needs to be level, and then cut it off, and we'll have 3 posts. It's interesting, the posts actually aren't that big. They're not as high as I thought they'd be, so it's all good. Cut, and we'll see how we did. Right on the money. Look at that. Not too bad. So I've got my posts all set up, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put my beam across. second piece to make the beam. Right to it. I'm gonna make an X pattern. Okay, I've got my beam all done up. Much more solid. It did take the bow out. I did get this end a little bit low here. I've got about 1/4 of an inch that's off, which is funny because it was dead on with the string. I don't know what that was all about, but either way, we'll shim it up. We'll be good. Things you can do with a circular saw. That probably wasn't the best for saw safety. In all seriousness though, I've never had an injury doing any of this stuff. I feel like if there's a way that I'm using the saw that's not safe, like I'll stop for sure. Because getting hurt on an island, not something you want to happen. Okay, tight, pinched it. Boom, it's right on. Money. I took that bow out with this piece here. I wedged it against the house basically, pulled it back. I just got a couple nails to put in yet, and we'll call it good. Yep. Last two. Great. All right. Looks like we're done. It's rock solid. Those pieces are holding this. So the stringers essentially are holding this from wanting to tip over. And once we get some cross bracing, go in each direction, 90 degrees or 45 degrees rather, and then we get we do that, and then we get rafter ties on each of these as well. It'll be rock solid. So
all right, Sunday morning, there was a grouse drumming right there. It was so close you could actually hear his feathers, not just the beat of his wings.
Ooh. So we'll go 16 inches on center.
The grouse are pretty neat up here this time of year. Just this non-stop drumming noise. It's actually right where this one crosses. I should probably do this. Well, I can't do it on the inside. I'll do it on top though.
It's 2 down, 14 more to go.
So we got these rafter ties, aka hurricane ties.
Not sure what the actual term is. I see a bunch of different stuff, but these will go right here, like so. And that will hold, connect this to that, so that we've got a good connection that'll never, ever move. Another beautiful Elbow Lake morning. Well, it's a little after 10. Been doing this for about an hour and a half, and we are making some good progress. That one's crooked. I don't know why. Good progress. I noticed the problem earlier too. I don't know what I was thinking. So I've got over here, I've got double beam like I'm supposed to. Over here, I just have one board. I just have one ledger. And I don't know why I thought that would be sufficient. I have no idea what I was thinking. But it's very apparent to me that that's going to be a problem. So, I mean, it's obviously it's supported, but it's 10 feet apart. Don't want the deck to be bouncy. So I think what I'll do is I'll just cut a couple, one 4x4 post in the middle there, one 4x4 post in the middle over there, and just plop those in the middle. I got all the joists done. So what I'm going to do now is I got to put the end pieces on. Now, what I ideally wanted to do was put the end piece flush here, corner bracket, and overhang. But I didn't think about that good enough, because if it's going to be supported here, then it needs to be not on the edge. It'll be off by 1 1/4 inches, which I guess isn't that big of a deal. But I'd like it to look nice. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a hanger on the edge like this, and then bend this back around and nail it flush. And that'll put it right on the edge. That should be good. Downside of these gloves is it's really hard to control your fingers with nails, and I keep pounding them. Positive is if I didn't have them, it'd hurt even worse. And then what we'll do is we'll pound this around like that. The front of the cabin isn't perfectly flush, so that means it pushed all these, as it became not flush, it pushed the 2x8s out a little bit, so I'm assuming it crowns kind of like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and snap a chalk line, and then go through with the circular saw and buzz off the ends so they're perfectly flush. Then I'll put the rim joist on. It and make everything nice. We got ourselves a great line. Look at that. Won't make that mistake again. Good there. We're going to go against the bend. And let this down slowly so we don't knock our scabs off. Beautiful. And one more over here for good measure. All right, we are done with the framing. Mostly. rim joist. I gotta get the cross braces yet. I don't have any materials for that. Like I said, I'm out of specs, so I'm gonna come back and do it next week. This is my first time coming out on the deck. Hopefully I'm not on the ground. And now I'm swaying back and forth. Feels pretty darn solid. 12:15 right now. I just finished as much as I'm gonna do on the deck. I wanna build the back deck here. Take me a couple hours, but the problem is there's no going back. So once I start, I gotta finish because otherwise I can't get into the cabin. These stairs are junk anyways. I just threw them together last summer as a way to get up into the cabin, knowing full well that I would eventually put a full deck here. Should maybe do it. Man, oh man. Woo! Being as the front deck was a large structure, I built that freestanding. This one I'm not going to though. I'm just gonna drop posts right by the edge. I have post bases, but it is solid granite just right under the surface. So I might just rest the posts here on the granite. They'll be supported by the wall, and I'll put post bases over there. Granite, granite. Right here. And we'll go 36 inches this way. Boom. Now I know where to dig my posts. That's where my post is going to go. In that space. And the other one is going to be right there. That space. So we'll just dig down to the granite. Shouldn't be that far. Same thing. Oh, this might be a little deeper. We want deck boards just below the lip here, and then support below that. A scrap piece of deck board here. Help me figure out exactly where I want this. That'd be great right there. I got my line. Right there. And the same thing this way. It'll be better than nothing. And you know, the reality is, if I was building a house somewhere else, would I do things perfect? Yeah. But I'm out here in the middle of the woods, 2-hour drive to town, 2 hours round trip. So it's just, sometimes you got to make do with what you got and then do your best. That'll work. I also find that although measuring is good a lot of times, more often than not, frankly, it's better just to put your thing in place and just do that. Boom. Now we know it's perfect. it's just sopping wet too. That moisture that was in the ground last week is still there, obviously. This is like a mud pit. Ugh. Well, this has been a struggle. Had to get down to bedrock. It's a little bit deeper over here. And of course, with that tree being there, there's roots everywhere. And same thing here. Almost done with this one. Posts are done. I did cut them high. I'm going to run a piece this way, find the level, and then chop the top off. This post is 2 inches longer this way than that one is. I'm just going to go with it and build around that tree. Four of them. Okay, I've just finished building my landing. That tree messed things up. It's not square on the side, which makes me mad, but whatever. So, turned out pretty good. I'm going to get on now and build my stairs. So right now I'm laying out the stairs. I'm gonna have 6-inch treads, or 6-inch rises rather. I think I've got it figured out. I mean, we'll see ultimately when I put it together. Not that I want to, but I do have an extra stringer to burn if I need to. Overload. All right, just finished the stairs up. Looking pretty good. To throw them all on, and then I'll cut the ends off when I get there. Right now, I'm just trying to cover this up so that we can come back next week. No one's gonna hurt themselves. As you can see, it's not square at the end. That's really been messing with me. That's again because I shortened that side to get around the tree. I think at the end of the day, it really won't make a difference. We got ourselves a nice line. There's the deck that I just finished. And here is the deck that's built. I just don't have the deck boards on yet. It's gonna be great. Just a nice 6x6 platform here to enter the buildings. You can maybe leave your shoes outside so you don't track mud inside. Just a nice nice landing here. All right, well with that, I am out. I'm out of here. Adios.